Whether you're playing The Last of Us Part 2 for the very first time, or have played through before but want to improve your gameplay, this video is for you. I'm going to walk you through the game's systems and how to make the most of them in life or death situations. That'll serve you well both in the main game and in the remaster's roguelike no return mode. This video contains no story spoilers. However, be aware that if you do want to experience the story of the game completely blind the first time, I do discuss mechanics unique to individual playable characters. So if you want an entirely unspoiled experience the very first time, I recommend doing that first before coming back to this video. With that warning, let's dive into the game. The very first thing you'll want to do is change your aiming settings. The Last of Us 2 is one of the most accessible and customizable games out there, so beyond aim settings there are a ton of options you may want to look at depending on your own needs. But I mention the aim settings specifically because the default settings are, to put it mildly, rubbish. There are two aspects in particular you'll want to look at. The aim sensitivity on the X and Y axis, which I recommend turning down, and the aiming acceleration and power ramp settings. The aim sensitivity is self-explanatory, and having it lower makes more precise movements of the reticle easier. But the acceleration and power ramp are two settings which make the aiming reticle move faster and farther the longer and harder you hold down the right stick. So turning them right down from their default positions makes it less likely that your aim will go way off when trying to react and shoot quickly. For me, X and Y sensitivity of 20 and power ramp and acceleration of 10 are the ideal for my aim compared to the default. But you may want to have a play around to see what suits you best. Beyond that, let's dive into the game proper. Outside of the cutscenes and certain playable walk and talk scenes, the gameplay loop is divided broadly into combat, looting and environmental puzzles. As with the first game, the environmental puzzle consists of finding a way onto your next destination by finding and moving climbable objects. They never get overly complex, but you can turn on a skip puzzle option in the accessibility settings if you either have an accessibility need or simply aren't interested in them. In terms of looting, whether the resources directly in the path of your progression are enough depends on the difficulty level, your playstyle, and how prepared you are for what's coming up. Even aside from two semi-open levels of the game, there are plenty of hidden nooks and crannies to explore. These may yield additional loot, ranging from crafting materials to weapons you otherwise wouldn't get until later, additional story beats and collectibles, and even additional optional or skippable combat encounters. Amongst the loot you find will be pills to upgrade your character, as well as training manuals for new upgrade trees, and parts to upgrade your guns. Compared to Part 1, the weapon upgrade system has been hugely simplified, with each weapon having 4 upgrades you can buy. These will vary in importance depending on how you play and what you prioritise, and are mostly a matter of preference. But the capacity upgrade for the pistol will positively impact your ammo count at moments where the ammo count is scripted after a set piece, and the fire rate on the shotgun and the revolver for Ellie in particular are useful in the bloater fight. The pill upgrades too can be a matter of preference, but each time you find a training manual it will open a new upgrade tree, so it's worth not spending all of your upgrades as soon as you can, but instead taking the time to learn which upgrade trees are available at which point in the game, and from there deciding what to prioritise. Moving on to combat, when you have anything throwable, whether a brick or a bottle or a bomb, the game will lock onto enemies when they're in range. This can be useful for quick throws, but if there's more than one enemy nearby, it can also go awry if the lock-on chooses the wrong target. So use it to your advantage, but if you are moving, or they are moving, be aware of who it's locked onto when you throw to avoid any mishaps. For example, from stunning one enemy but attacking a different one in the aftermath. Stunning an enemy with a brick or bottle throw is often more useful than using it as a distraction. For runners, stalkers and non-brute human enemies, this allows you to grab them while stunned. They can then be stealth killed if other enemies aren't in range to see or hear you, or used as a hostage. Alternatively, you can do a strike on the stunned enemy. Runners, stalkers and non-brute humans will die to a strike, regardless of your melee weapon or lack thereof. For clickers, you need a two-handed melee weapon for the strike to kill. Alternatively, if there are multiple bricks or bottles around, then you can do more than one stun strike combo to finish them off. You can also stun enemies with guns, for different effects. A pistol bullet below the knee will stun the weaker enemies, allowing again for a strike or a grab. For stronger enemies, however, Ellie's rifle will take the leg off a clicker, leading to it crawling around until it dies, whilst Abby's rifle will stun it and allow for a kill strike even with no melee weapon. A pistol headshot that breaks the clicker's faceplate will achieve the same effect. If hitting these shots seems intimidating, it's worth practicing. As scary as it may seem, a clicker headshot is easier when it's running at you, and hitting enemies in the legs is broadly easier than getting a headshot. There are various tactics for accurately lining up your shots in fast-paced situations. A shot to the centre of mass of a weaker enemy will stagger it, giving you an extra second to line up a head or leg shot, whereas dragging your reticle across from the right or left rather than up or down can be easier to bring it in line for a clicker headshot. None of this is an instant fix, and different solutions work for different people, but these approaches may help, again, with practice. In terms of guns, Ellie and Abby's loadouts differ in various ways. Both have a pistol, with Abby able to craft silencers for it from the beginning, and a rifle. Abby's is less powerful, but Ellie's carries fewer rounds and takes longer to fire. Abby's shotgun holds fewer rounds, but they're more powerful, and she can also get fire round upgrade, which does additional burn damage to enemies not instantly killed by it. Ellie's bow is quicker to fire than Abby's crossbow, but Abby can add a scope for greater accuracy. And while Ellie can craft arrows, Abby is more likely to get the arrows back from headshots. The game's difficulty will dictate the scarcity of ammo, but getting to grips with each gun's strengths and weaknesses and practicing to use your shots efficiently will help on any setting. Even with a loud gun, being able to get a headshot from prone, for example, will allow you to move quickly back into stealth elsewhere to take another shot, keeping the enemy on the defensive. And arrows or silence bullets hitting a wall or breaking glass can provide as useful a distraction as a thrown bottle. Which brings us to stealth. Pure stealth isn't always the most effective or most fun tactic in the game, but you can use it to your advantage in various ways. An arrow hitting a wall, a bottle breaking, and glass from a window or vending machine breaking all have different radiuses in terms of attracting enemies, which you can use to your advantage if you want to lure everyone or just one individual to a location. If you're alerted, moving to a new hiding location is advisable, but the enemy will often be aware of you whilst you're sprinting, so it's advisable to stop sprinting when out of sight, but keep moving, using the ability to crouch or to go prone to your advantage to keep cover and re-enter stealth. The various bombs the characters have can also be useful for stealth as well as raw combat. Ellie has trap mines, which can be placed ahead of time, so although the enemy will go alert, they won't know where you are. Ellie's Molotovs and Abby's pipe bombs will give enemies your direction, if not your exact location, but can force a reaction where they take cover for safety, allowing you to move undercover. Stun bombs can simultaneously stun a larger group of enemies if close together, allowing for a quick escape, and if they're upgraded to smoke bombs, it'll give you an extra bit of protection from pursuit or being shot. The final thing to mention is that while Ellie has a knife, Abby has to craft shivs. This seems to give Ellie the advantage in that she can stealth kill clickers in every scenario. However, Abby can use shivs to escape grabs by clickers and other infected quickly, whereas Ellie doesn't have this option with her knife. This is something to take into account when working out how to take on a group of infected. Beyond being familiar with the weaponry and mechanics available, as outlined above, the main thing is to remember that The Last of Us Part 2 is not a straight shooter. Guerrilla warfare, rather than cover shooting, is the order of the day. Enemies will try to flank you and take you by surprise, so it's better that you play on the basis of trying to do the same to them. And in a lot of cases, the goal is the exit rather than taking everyone out, so learning when you don't have to fight is also going to help a lot. Let me know in the comments if you found these tips helpful. In future videos, I'll be covering the game's hardest difficulty, Grounded, and the new roguelike mode, No Return, to round out this guide. If enough people are interested in a full walkthrough of the game on Grounded difficulty, I can do that as well. The playlist for similar guides and walkthroughs for The Last of Us Part 1 is linked in the description. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a like and consider subscribing to keep up to date with all my content. Like the video that just popped up, which YouTube thinks you should watch next. This is a Patreon and member supported channel, so if you want to become a member and unlock custom badges and emojis, early access to my videos, and your name in the credits, then click the join button below. Thanks very much for watching, and see you next time.